Hi friends, welcome back to 10-minute recaps. Today, I'm going to explain a romantic drama film released in 2014 titled, Flowers in the Attic. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. The story takes place in 1957, Pennsylvania. Christopher and Corinne live happily with their 4 children, Chris, Kathy, and the twins Carrie and Corey. After being away from home for a long time, Christopher is back with gifts for everyone. Christopher is very loving, caring father which every child wants in their life. In his company, Christopher is promoted to vice president. Everyone is pleased with the promotion, except for Kathy. To speak with Kathy, Christopher goes to her room, he gives her a ring to cheer her up. Because of her father's promotion, she thinks he will have to work even more and can't give them enough time. Corinne and the kids host a party in the evening to celebrate Christopher's promotion. Everyone hides as Chris hears a car approaching, because they believe it is Christopher. But instead, a policeman enters and informs them about an accident. Christopher was killed in a car accident, leaving the Dollanganger family in total disbelief. The loss of Christopher has left the family with significant debt. Corinne requests that Kathy mail something to a certain address. After 4 months, Corinne receives a response. She informs Chris and Kathy that they will now reside in Virginia with their grandparents. Chris and Kathy are willing to support Corinne and wish to stay. However, Corinne informs them that they are deeply in debt, and eventually, the bank will seize everything away sooner or later. Corinne wants to transfer the kids as soon as possible. She also informs them that their last name is actually Foxworth and not Dollanganger. The same evening, they depart for Virginia. After getting off at a distant area, Corinne walks with her kids to Foxworth's house. They are greeted coldly by Corinne's mother, Olivia, who then takes the kids to a small room in the attic because she doesn't want Corinne's father to know they are there. They are instructed to keep the window drapes closed all the time, and Olivia will lock the door from the outside. Before leaving, she says, "God sees everything," which confuses the kids because they don't understand what she means. Before Corinne also leaves, she tells them that they will need to make adjustments for some time, while she wins her father back because he has left her out of his will. When Olivia comes back, she notices the ring Christopher gave Kathy. She is enraged and snatches the ring away. The following day, Olivia brings food for the kids and gives them a list of rules. She tells them that no one should ever learn that they were staying at Foxworth's residence. The next day, the kids enter the attic and get ready to stay there for a couple of months. Kathy is confused by Olivia's strict actions and wonders why she hates them. Chris, however, has total faith in his mother and is willing to wait. Corinne visits the kids at night to see how they are doing. Olivia comes as well and is furious with Corinne. She instructs her to remove her top, and she repeatedly beats Corinne as punishment and refers to the kids as spawn of the devil. She makes it clear to Corinne and the kids and what happens when they disobey her. Kathy questions why her grandmother hates them so much. Corinne finally reveals that Christopher, who was only a few years older than her, was her biological half-uncle. They fell in love and ran away together, which is why she was excluded from her father's will. Corinne's visits to the attic became less regular as the days go by. Every day, Olivia brings food and other supplies for the kids. Kathy informs Olivia that she is a ballet dancer and Chris is a talented painter. But Olivia, being unpleasant as always, queries Kathy about whether Chris has ever requested a pose for her to take an undressed painting. Olivia instructs the kids to hide in the attic as the maids are about to arrive to clean the room. Days go by and after a month, Corinne pays a visit to the kids and delivers them gifts. Kathy is tired of waiting and is eager to meet her grandfather outside and lead a normal life. However, Corinne reveals that her father forgave her with one condition, that she refrained from having children with Christopher. It means that the kids must remain in the attic until Corinne's dad passes away. Chris and Kathy are prepared to wait until their grandfather dies. But the twins are getting impatient and want to see their mother, who hasn't seen them in days. Christmas arrives but the kids are still imprisoned in the attic. To thank their grandmother, who brings them food every day, the kids create a drawing for her. Olivia notices it, but she keeps quiet and goes away, attempting to control her feelings. On Christmas, Corinne pays them a visit again and brings more gifts for the kids. She claims to have won her father back and will now inherit everything. She has organized an evening party to celebrate. Kathy desperately wants to attend the party. So Corinne tells them to hide inside a board and observe everything from there. At the party, Corinne's father shows up with a gift for his daughter. It appears that Corinne and her father had an unusual bond that her mother didn't approve of. Kathy and Chris return to the attic after the party. On their way, they see Corinne and Mr. Winslow, the family attorney, kissing each other. Corinne inherits that they intend to start a new life, without the kids. Chris looks around the house further and discovers that Corinne is living a far better life than she claims. When Chris continues to be outside, Corinne discovers him and slaps him. She is changing from a loving mother to a self-centered individual who just thinks about herself. The following day, she goes to see the kids and tells them that they can all go if they choose to, but doing so now would mean losing all of the money. She captures their attention and the kids feel for her, and they decide to wait a bit longer. 1 year has already passed, and Chris and Kathy are starting to mature. Chris is also starting to feel something for women. Kathy receives a bra from Corinne because now she is a woman. As she is attempting her first bra, Chris inadvertently enters the room. Olivia discovers them. She tries to cut Kathy's hair as punishment. Chris stops her, but if he doesn't cut off Kathy's hair himself, she says they'll go hungry for a week. In defiance of her orders, Chris and Kathy feed the twins the last of the food in the hopes that their mother will arrive soon. Olivia pays them a visit and leaves them a food box. However, Kathy discovers tar in her hair when she awakens. Chris makes the difficult decision to cut off Kathy's hair. Chris informs Kathy that although he thinks she is lovely, it is wrong to think about her in that way. They've been trapped in the attic for yet another year. The twins' growth has been significantly delayed since they don't get enough sunshine and fresh air. Finally having enough of this imprisoned life, Kathy and Chris start making plans for their escape. At night, they climb down from the attic and travel to a neighboring lake. They start to believe that their mother has abandoned them, because Corinne hasn't visited them in months. However, Corinne comes after a long absence and declares that she recently married Mr. Winslow. She was gone for months because she was in Europe on her honeymoon. The kids are not happy, because Corinne hasn't even told them about Mr. Winslow. The following day, Olivia delivers the kids donuts, which she claims are a gift from their mother. Kathy is sick of waiting in the attic and wants to leave, but Chris still has faith in her mother, despite the fact that he no longer trusts her. As he is gazing out the window, Olivia tells Chris to leave the window and calls him a boy. But Chris insists on calling him by his name rather than boy. Olivia becomes furious and punishes Chris for disobeying her. While attending to his injuries, Kathy expresses her fear of losing him. Chris kisses her and tells her that nothing will happen to him. Later, Chris informs Olivia that she was correct to refer to them as the devil's spawn and begs for forgiveness. Olivia advises he should pray to God for salvation and leaves. Chris, however, admits that it was an act to get the attic key's appearance in a soap. He then carves a copy of the key out of a wooden stick. Kathy urges them to leave as soon as possible, but Chris tells her that in order to survive outside, they will need a sizable amount of money. If they wish to get away, Chris needs to gather at least $1,000. So they decide to rob their mother's room of her money. On their subsequent raid, Kathy and Chris split up to gather more cash. When Kathy discovers Mr. Winslow asleep on Corinne's bed, she gives him a curious kiss. Chris visits the fence to investigate it, but it's electrified, making their escape even harder. On his way back, he overhears Corinne and Mr. Winslow discussing a dream in which a young woman with blonde hair entered the room and kissed him. Chris confronts Kathy with rage, but she tells him that the kiss was for no reason and was simply an act of curiosity. She gives him a kiss as well, and the things went to the bed. Kathy offers they can travel to Florida and act as though they never slept. Chris, though, assures her that he loves her and that he can never love anyone else as deeply as he loves her. Carrie tells them that Corey is ill and not feeling well. Kathy informs Olivia and Corinne that Corey is sick, but they just stand still. Kathy yells at her for not loving her children, and Corinne slaps her. But Kathy is fed up and gives her a slap in return. She threatens her mother with retaliation if she doesn't take Corey to the hospital. The following day, Corinne informs them that Corey had died from pneumonia, and has already been buried. The kids are devastated by the loss of Corey. Now that they are in danger, they decide to launch one more raid and seize everything they can get. They discover that Corinne and Mr. Winslow have left Foxworth's house. But it's not time to think about that, they have to gather all the jewelry they can for their getaway. Chris hears a conversation during the quest between Corinne's maid and the butler, that Olivia's father passed away 7 months ago. Corinne poisoned him to get all his money and fled away. Chris enters Olivia's room, and she feels his presence. Kathy shows Chris how Corey's pet mouse has ate a bite of the donut and passed away, indicating that it was poisoned. Olivia hears their conversation and wants their key, but Chris manages to keep her in check while the children hide in the attic. Olivia runs after them, but she panics from claustrophobia when Chris closes the door and shuts the lights. Olivia explains to them that it was their mother who poisoned them, and not her. However, they decide to leave her and jump out the window. They try to get away from Foxworth's residence by running to the fence. but they run into the butler who discovers they are Corinne's kids. This information utterly astounds him, and he instructs them to run while he turns off the electric fence for them. They board the train just in time. Chris assures Kathy that their suffering is finally over and they leave for Florida. Kathy swears revenge on Corinne, who kept them in the attic, hidden from the world for all these years. Seriously, how can a mother be so cruel? I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hit that like button if you did, subscribe if you're new. And at last, I'll say stay well, stay safe, thanks.